to 7 inches, like the iPad Mini, and then smartphones. We're going to demo all of the mobile options on Apple devices today, but the apps look and work the same on Android devices. So now I'm going to turn it over to Chuck, and he'll run us through the workflow.
Hey, thanks, Matthew. So I'm going to share my desktop here. We're going to bring up an iPad and run through a workflow with 4 different mobile options. So here we have just a standard iPad, iPad, and let's go ahead and go into the first application, which is Cityworks Field Mode, which is a web-based application. So let's go ahead and on the bottom here jump into Safari, and I just happen to have it up, so I'm in a web browser on the iPad, Safari. And we'll go ahead, and this should look familiar to everybody. This is what Freeance, Cityworks server looks like when you're in the office. We'll go ahead and log in. And it takes us right to our inbox. So let's go down here and look at some service requests. Let's go ahead and look at number 4 here, or how about number 6? You notice I'm zooming in because sometimes it's a little thick application to click with on the finger if we're not zoomed in. It was designed for a mouse and a keyboard. That's one of the benefits is we got all the tools here, but then we've got a pretty thick application that either takes a lot of training or an experienced Cityworks user to use. So here we've got, our service request we jumped into. We can modify it. We can change priority. We can put different dates in here. All that good stuff, add comments. Got the full breadth of Cityworks information or tool set. If we come in here and say, hey, we've made some changes. Maybe a unit here is 11 on the caller information. We need to save that. I'm going to go ahead and hit save anytime we make some changes. Once again, just somewhat should be familiar to what people use here. We have attachments. I can take photos. Now, it's interesting to take photos, though. I actually have to just go to, I don't go directly to the camera like a mobile device. I have to come into the camera roll and take my photos from there. So I have to jump out and take a photo with the camera and then jump back in. So a little hop and a jump to get out of here, but that's because we're not in the native mode. We're in a web browser. So if I want to come in here, I can add labor. But what I want to do is I'm going to create a work order because there's work to be done here. So I just punch, create a work order here. Let's see if we can scan over here, hit create a work order, and working, and it's bringing up a new work order that I'm creating. Let's go into sewer. We've got a sewer clean out. Let's go ahead and save it, create it. I should say go ahead and create. I just created a new work order attached to that service request. You can see there's a little hesitation between that because there's a lot to paint. There's a lot of HTML, a lot of graphics, windows, and so forth. But here I'm in a new work order. Let's submit it to somebody. Let's give it an actual start date. Hit the wrong one there. Once again, kind of grab the right thing. And we can add attachments. Let's go to the map here. is we've got our GIS map. We can turn layers off and on. We can select features. Now, one thing I can't do that's kind of nice if this was a native mobile app is to bring up my GPS location. So I can go ahead and bring up layers. Once again, it's a little thick application, but it does everything. I need to have a well-trained, experienced. So I made manhole selectable there. I'll hit the selection button. I'll come and grab this manhole up here and attach it to that work order. So I can do that. I can put in tasks. I can do labor, materials. You can come up here and hit the view and grab, let's grab crews. There we go. So I can add labor, materials, equipment with crew. Let's come in here and add 2 hours to everybody. There we go, okay. And you can see sometimes it's a little finicky, but that's kind of the price we pay for a web app that we can bring up on a Windows device, an Android, an iPhone. So there's the two. Let's go ahead and save it. All right, so I think everybody's getting the idea of, hey, this is same look and feel as in the office. Let's go back to the work order. Hit it twice. It's coming up here. It's working. Tell you what, let's go ahead and there we go. Once again, that delays just a lot of work to do here on a web page. Let's go to our next application, which is also web-based, HTML5 web-based. So let's log out of this. Let's go ahead and close this tab. And I'm going to log in to Cityworks again, but notice down here, I'm going to say mobile. This is the web mobile HTML5. Browser-based, but a very different look and feel. So let's go ahead and hit log in. And right away we see it's a different looking app. It's syncing because it's not a live connection every time I do something. I load up the latest records, updates, so forth when I log in. That's what that sync was. And then I've got to sync the button every time I want to send data back. Okay? So let's come in here and look at the GIS map since it's up quickly and looks familiar. However, this map, it's view only. I can't select features. I can't attach them to work orders. I can't turn layers off and on. I can't get to my GPS because it's web-based, so it's a look only. And let's go in here and let's look at our inbox. And let's go into, this is just our standard inbox. Let's go into this work order. Okay? So here's a work order. I tell you what, let's follow our workflow. Let's go into a service request first here, which I don't have showing. So let's just go into the work order. But let's, we see right away that this is a different look and feel. It's very easy to use. It's very simple. It's very linear. I got everything on one screen. I've got my details here. I can't really, just two. I can modify them. You can say it's completed or not completed or it's a different priority. So minimal amount of details. My assets. Comments I can add and update. Save. Instructions. View only. There's none here, but I can't type in there. It's view only. I can come in and do labor, equipment, material. Okay, so let's add new labor. There's my crew. Let's say once again, our 2 hours. Let's add it to all the crew. That was quick. Let's hit done. Sorry, it jumped back into my other application. Just once again, it's kind of a browser. That's what happens. Syncing. Let's try that again. Let's hit done. Well, it's going to jump back into the map. As you can see, it's just kind of the benefit I have of the browser app is I can hit it on any device. However, a browser, the developers and the software loses a little bit of control because of that browser. So there we go. So add that labor and so forth. Same with materials. So a great app for easy to use view. Hey, I want to look at what stuff is done. I want to add some labor. I maybe want to call it completed. Can I submit it to somebody? Can I create a child work order? Can I attach an asset? No. I mean, this is a quick, easy to use app. You can get somebody going on this in 5 minutes with a simple workflow. Now, let's go ahead and look at another app here. And this app is a native app. It's going to be the first of the 2 native apps we look at. Cityworks 2014. Okay? Let's call it up. All 3 of these apps are hitting the same server, 2014, Service Pack 2, on the cloud. Sending somewhere in Sandy, Utah. Okay? Hey, look, one of the first things I can do is up on the top right, I can zoom to my GPS because this is a native app. I got my camera, I got my GPS, I got control of my device. I'm not hoping the web does what I want it to do. So you can start to see the difference between a mobile app, native, and a web-based app. However, this is restricted to an iOS and an Android. And I've got to download it from the store. So let's come in here. I've got, my map. It's kind of a view map only. I can't select features. I can't turn layers off and on. Let's come in here, look at our inbox, go to that map or that work order. Let's jump back. Let's go to that service request through overflow. Okay, so here we are in a service request. Once again, very simple app. It looks a lot like the HTML app. Very similar. Same tool set, same functionality, just native and behaves a little better. Now here I got my labor. Popped off. Let me jump back into that. Let me come back into that. Let's go back into sewer overflow, and let's start from the top. I've got my description, very simple description. Where's my address for this? I got comments that I can add to, test, add. Let's go into attachments. Let's add one. I'm going to grab my camera here. I'm going to take a photo. Okay, I got control of my device because it's a native app. There it is. I can look at that. Beautiful. Goes right back to the server. I'm not going to jump back in labor. This app has a little trouble with the labor. Pops off. But let's come back in to the main screen, which is the map, and let's resync this. You notice up on the top right, I've got that red button. Let's resync it. And what it's doing is it's sending that work I did for that service request right back. And then I've got also my work orders. Once again, a very simple application, very easy to use. I mean, we could send somebody out in the field after probably 5 minutes of showing them, hey, bring up that work order on your inbox, set it as complete, add labor, come in, hit, 1 hour, add it to all, hit done, that's it. Maybe add some comments. So if I've got a simple workflow, or I just want to look at where this work order is it completed? Does it have some comments? This is the app to use. So I'll jump back and I'll resync again. Once again, this HTML web mobile and the native app are very similar. Supervisor, quick review, limited editing, but very easy to use. And I can put them on different devices. Okay. Let's look at our fourth and final app, another native app, Freeance Mobile for Cityworks. Right in the Cityworks stack, it's the same APIs going to the same server. It's a native app. I download it from the store. It's not web-based. One of the things that Freeance Mobile does is the other options not modifiable. We can't change them. Freeance Mobile I can modify the form, the look, the map, what queries there are, so forth, how the form looks, what fields are required. And you can see that here. I've got different apps I can bring up. So let's go in here. And let's go into this app. And let's load the config. Let's hit main. And let's save. And let's go in with my standard Cityworks log in. And I've got a map. Let's bring it up. Looks similar. But this map has a lot of functionality. We can turn on our GPS and zoom to our location. I can go ahead and turn layers off and on. I can come in and select a feature. Maybe I want to come in and select a wastewater or a fire hydrant. Attach it to a work order. So I've got functionality with this app that there's a hydrant, so let's go in there. This is the GIS data. I could even edit this if I wanted. Let's go in and attach a work order. Got a hydrant. I've got all my templates in here. And I can modify all my details. Let's submit it to Dan. It's requested by PW. What stage is it at? So I really have a lot of control. Really the same functionality that I've got back in the office. Instructions, details. I've got that asset I already put in there. I've got my custom fields. Let's go ahead and save it. So all that functionality, let's jump back and go to service requests. And let's look at my inbox and go to that service request. I can add my labor. Let's go ahead and add labor. Add that. Once again, I've got crews, employees. So it may start to look familiar. Let's go ahead and add that. Go back to the service request. I got my custom fields, template custom fields, universal custom fields. I can create a child work order off this. Let's go into details. Let's create a work order off that. So once again, I'm into a new work order. I've got my custom fields. I've got my assets I can add. I can add labor, equipment, materials. Let's go back in here into an existing work order. I could plot these. I could, view them on the map. Click one and bring it up. And maybe I just want to drive down the street and open up these work orders and complete them as I go down the street. Maybe this is just hydrant flushing. Let's identify one of these. There's that work order. Maybe I want to come in and add a task. So I've got the complete functionality here. Let's call this a flush on a hydrant. All my templates, all my permissions, everything's in here. There we go. So we just added that task. I can add photos. Got my labor. So that is the Freeance mobile application. It's a native application. And I've got almost the full functionality as the desktop app. So there's our four options, all on an iPad. And I'm going to turn it back over to Matthew. He's going to finish this up with some good recommendations for further evaluating. Yeah, before I do that though, let me just tie this up. Let me jump out of here. Let me stop sharing my screen and get back to presentation and kind of summarize where we were with these. So descriptions, the first one we showed you was field mode. And that was the full boat, what we see back in the office. Desktop interface, it can be modified, web-based, so really needs a sophisticated user, a lot of training. These are the two applications that are kind of newer. These are the Cityworks. We went first into the WebEx-HTML. Not the full functionality, but very easy to use. Very quick, very simple, very handy, simple workflow, stuff completed. And then the Cityworks native app, similar functionality, but it's native. Probably performs a little more solidly, but really the same functionality. These two are really close to the same functionality. The mobile I can bring on Windows. The native, I cannot. It's Android and iOS. Okay? And then the fourth one we looked at is Freeance Mobile, native app, full functionality, can be modified, and works on Android, iOS, tablets, and phones. Devices, once again, we went through this. Field mode, really meant for got to have a large tablet. This ain't going to work on a 7-inch. It's not going to work on a phone. It needs a full screen. Laptops or a big 10-inch tablet. Cityworks native app, because it's small and light, it can work on phones and tablets. Very good with that. And the same with the mobile HTML. Once again, I've got Windows on the mobile web. I don't have that on the native. And then Freeance Mobile, iOS and Android devices, smartphones, and tablets. Native app. Okay, typical user profile. Here's our experience working with the dozens and dozens and dozens of clients we have. Field mode, somebody who's doing the full workflow from start to end and really experienced with this. The native app, supervisor or manager, quick check, limited editing. Can walk around with it. Same with a mobile web, HTML5, supervisor or manager, quick check, limited editing, but it's a really mobile device. Can get out there, walk around with it, and use it right at the point of work. Freeance Mobile, kind of similar to the Cityworks field mode, easier to to use, but somebody who needs complete workflow, full editing. And the benefit of this is I can get it on a phone, I can get it on a 7-inch tablet, so it's a lot more mobile because it is built for a mobile device. It's a lot linear, it's a lot easier to use. I don't have to be an experienced user to do this, probably a half an hour of training and I'm up and on my way. So these two are similar. And the outside too, as far as functionality goes. Very important, connected and disconnected. Field mode, got to be connected, period. Got to be connected. It's a web app, got to be connected. Cityworks native, I can work in disconnected mode with the records I have. Remember, we sync and unsync in the device. My map doesn't work in disconnected mode. I mean, I can bring up my work order service request that I synced, but I don't have a map, and that's identical to the web mobile. It works in disconnected with the current records I have, but I don't have a map. Freeance mobile connected mode only. Got to have a connection. The one thing that is nice, because it's not a web, if I do lose connection, I don't lose my work for that one work order, that one service request, that inspection. I can't save it, but I'm not logged out. I don't have to start over. I keep all my stuff. I just can't move on to the next record until I come back into cell data. And once again, the map doesn't work in disconnected mode. Limitations. Field mode, as I showed you, you've got to have a bigger device. Fingertip navigation can be challenging. Native app. You can't create new records. I can't attach them to map assets. I can't customize this. Simple workflows and identical for web HTML. Really, these two are the same apps. One's native, one's web-based. Freeance mobile, can't run it on Windows. It's not going to work. iOS and Android only, and needs connection. Doesn't run in a disconnected mode. There's our limitations. Okay.
All right. Chuck, thank you very much for that concise and helpful tour through the many options for Cityworks Mobile. So given that, we have many choices what to do. Well, deploying mobile apps to tablets and smartphones really is a new software model for many. So you really, really need to try it first in your specific environment. And agile evals are a lean approach to trying new, rapidly changing technology. And because this mobile computing model may be new and unknown, evaluating it can seem like a really big project, but it doesn't have to be. You don't need to resolve every single unknown, every single requirement in order to effectively evaluate these mobile options. And that's because your use of mobile technology and mobile apps in particular will constantly evolve. And so it's to the organization's advantage to deploy these mobile apps as soon as possible, as early as possible, so that you can realize the time and cost saving benefits that are inherent with mobile computing. So new technology, rapidly changing, a lean agile approach is really a great way to go. So you want to select a small team from ops, operations, IT, and management. If you don't have the mobile devices, get them. Pick one to no more than 3 workflows for the evaluation project. Your operations team will know which ones are important, and then establish the evaluation criteria for those workflows to determine what's successful and what's not. Install the mobile software options and then rapidly deploy those enabled devices to the field. Test the mobile apps in or with the eval workflows, and then review the results. So an agile eval is fast and focused. So you get your small team together, you choose 1 to 3 workflows for the eval, you establish your most important criteria that need to be met. That can be done in a meeting or 2, 1 week. While that's going on, you can install and configure the eval software. You know which ones you want to evaluate, and deploy the enabled devices to the small eval team. That's another week. Then take a couple of weeks to conduct the evaluation in the field. You'll know quickly how well it's going. You'll be able to get initial feedback from field users on the eval team probably in a few days. And you'll know how well the apps are working in your eval workflows. And then a debrief and review of those results. But the idea is to make it lean, make it small, make it agile to test, and then you can decide where you go from there. So I think as far as our formal presentation, that's it. We're in the Q&A, and I think that we've got
we got a couple chats, and then we'll open up the mic. Can Freeance be used with Microsoft Surface? No Windows. No Windows devices. Is Elm Crew currently available with Freeance? 5.3, which is released
at the
end of this month. Yes, we have Crew. So let me go ahead and open up the mic and for everyone. And okay, so we got an open mic. If anybody wants to ask a question, we'll go ahead and see. Let's look at the feedback here. We might have. Get on the mic. I'm going to go ahead and let people chat in. If I can find the person who's giving feedback. Chat our questions in. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mute everybody. And I'm sorry. Go ahead and chat in if you've got any questions. We'll sit here and read them out loud to everybody. If you are looking to eval, as Matthew mentioned, contact your Cityworks rep, and they'll be able to line you up with, I think, on an eval situation. The mobile apps, you'll need the work order APIs. Contact us at Freeance if you want Freeance Mobile, if you want to eval our software. We'd love to put that in the mix. But I think Matthew had a good idea of running an eval, Agile eval, different mobile devices, running different apps.
Yes, running the different apps.
Yeah, our presentation slides available, yes. We'll send out the presentation slides. We're also recording, and we'll send the recording out tomorrow. Will all the assets in Cityworks be visible on all the mobile applications out in the field? It depends. In field mode, You can turn layers off and on and make them visible. In the mobile apps, the native and the web, HTML5 Cityworks app, you have to load that ArcGIS map service up, and what you load up is what you get. So if you load the one with the assets in there and they're visible, you'll see them. Freeance Mobile, you've got a little more control. You can say what layers you want to see, which layers you don't want to see. People can even turn them off and on out in the field. So can I see all the assets out in the field? With the mobile apps, it depends on which map service I set up with the mobile app. Can you initiate the work order by creating a point on the map with Freeance? Yes, you can. You can digitize a point on the screen and create a work order or an inspection. I can grab my GPS location and create a work order inspection. So yes, I can. It can be a non-asset. It can just be a location. Is Freeance using ESR hosted services or feature services? We are using any ArcGIS map service. We're going right to the REST calls. So anything ArcGIS 10.x publishes, you can use. A feature service, we don't need a feature service. We only need a feature service if you want to edit features with Freeance Mobile. Freeance Mobile will let you edit GIS features. You got to have a feature service.
Right on the device.
Even hosted services, no. We currently don't use ArcGIS Online. We currently don't hit ArcGIS Online for map services. It's got to be an ArcGIS REST call services, not an ArcGIS Online. It can work on the cloud, though. If you got ArcGIS server on the cloud, we can do that. Just wanted to mention, I'll be at the Cityworks conference. Would be happy. Joe Craig.
City of Westerville.
Oh, City of Westerville. Hey, thanks, Joe. Can you get geolocation new assets out in the field with all the mobile applications? Yes, you can. Wait, can you geolocate new assets out in the field with all the mobile applications?
What's geolocate?
I'm not sure what you mean by geolocate new assets. If you want to digitize new assets, you can do that with field mode, or you can do it with Freeance Mobile. You can't do it with the native Cityworks app or HTML5. It sounds like you're talking about, hey, I want to drop a new manhole or something like that. Freeance Mobile and field mode, but not web mobile or native. The four mobile applications, can you create work orders and service requests directly from the map selection? Field mode you can, and Freeance you can. The Cityworks native and HTML5 web mobile you cannot.
Okay, so we answered the question correctly about geolocate. Okay.
Good,
right.
okay. We appreciate everybody attending again. I'm sorry we couldn't open up a mic. Not sure what WebEx was doing there for us, but we appreciate everybody attending. We'll send out the slides. We'll send out the recordings. We'll hang in here a couple more minutes at the most if anybody wants to chat in a question. And
you want to try one more time?
no. Well, we tried.
We'll try it one more time.
Unmute all.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
We have the endless echo.
Okay. So we'll hang in here a couple more minutes if anybody's got a chat. Once again, thanks for attending.
Yeah,
have a good
it's
day.
a lot of fun going over this. It's really interesting, and I know that you have a lot of interest in understanding, taking apart the options and seeing what's what.
Yeah, and probably a last parting comment, and this comes from not only us at Freeance, but also from Azteca. This isn't a binary decision on mobile. Don't think that you've got to choose one device and one app and you're done. We've even got different clients running Freeance next to Cityworks Mobile. So you've got different users, different requirements. Don't think that you've got to pick one and one's better than the other. They're different apps, they're different uses, and you need to determine which is going to work best for the different groups. So we really advocate it's not a black and white, one size fits all, as we kind of let in on our lead screen. Somebody asked, Alec, what's on the way? As far as Cityworks, I think we'll find out in May. As far as Freeance goes, PLL this spring. We're going to have mobile PLL.
That's in development right now.
We're looking forward to showing that at the show.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Appreciate everybody attending, and have a good weekend coming up. Thanks again.